Jackie, along with mask and vaccine mandates, what children learn in school is a hot button issue in Virginia. For more on the Virginia governor's race, we are joined by Distinguished Education Fellow at Parents Defending Education, Aimee Viana. Aimee, thank you for taking time. And it is almost voting day in Virginia in CRT, critical race theory, obviously front and center. I want to play for you. It appears that GOP challenger Glenn Youngkin taking advantage of something that Terry McAuliffe said in their debate at the end of September. I want to play a little bit of what McAuliffe said and how the GOP is using it in an ad. Watch.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. I get really tired of everybody running down teachers.
Aimee, do you think that will have an impact? And if so, why?
Well, first of all, Griff, thanks for having me. I do think it will have an impact. As a former teacher and school principal, someone who's also been in federal education policy, I can tell you that parental involvement is essential. And having parents involved in students' education for 50 years, studies have shown that it actually is part of what is critical to achieving student success. And so having those positive relationships with parents, building trust, allowing there to be transparency and accountability, absolutely necessary in order for us to provide students with the opportunities that they need to be successful.
Aimee, a lot of American voters agree with you in our latest Fox News poll, which we can show you. When we polled specifically parents themselves, 57% say that parents should tell schools what to teach. 34% said they should not. You look at the other column there, which is parents and other voters as well. It's still a 40%. Why has this become such a hot button issue, Aimee?
Griff, I think that the pandemic provided an opportunity for parents to be more involved in their children's education than they had ever before been. And so at the kitchen table in my own home, I have 3 children, parents were essentially part of the education process. And as a result, they have seen the material that their children are being taught. They are more aware than ever of the methods that are being utilized. And now that there are, as you mentioned at the beginning of the segment, vaccine mandates, mask mandates, in addition to the material and the methodology that's being used, parents have the desire to be advocates on behalf of their children, and they have every right and, frankly, the responsibility to do so.
And we were seeing some impact that parents have had in Loudoun County, Virginia, which is really ground zero for the CRT debate. We saw a resignation from Beth Bartz, a school board member that has now stepped down because of the pressure in Loudoun County and parents, like you are describing, speaking out. Where does this go?
That's a great question, Griff. I believe that the situation that is happening across the country, we see kind of in a very interesting way, specifically in Loudoun County. And I do feel that parents more than ever are being empowered to participate in this basic democratic process, which is the process in which they are involved in their school boards and in their school board elections and in their school board meetings. And so now is the time to continue to encourage parents to continue to be advocates for their children, to look for ways in which they can be a part of the process. I would encourage parents to, I know that there is certainly a focus on school board meetings and being present at school board meetings and speaking at school board meetings, but there are also many other ways that parents can advocate for their children and can utilize their voice. And so I encourage parents to continue to not just, attend meetings and speak in a way that is respectful and that provides good civil civic discourse, but I also encourage them to continue to do the very basic things, which are visit their child's school, ask questions of their child's teacher, be involved with the principal at the school level. And so my hope with everything that is going on and the situation in Loudoun County is that parents across the country will be more likely to be involved.
That's a great point. Get involved. Aimee Viana, Parents Defending Education. You can look her up. Aimee, thanks for taking time.
Thanks, Griff.
Jackie?